No one's been able to tell since they can't get jobs because of the increase of people. So until I heard the phrase backdoor unemployment employment agency, the pieces didn't fit together. Then that backdoor employment agency is a place that sells jobs for money. You're supposed to get money by working, right? Doesn't make sense to buy jobs with money. But in reality, they are villains who are trying to trample Madame Rose's goodwill and fill their own pockets. What the hell? That's just wrong. That's why you have labor unions. However, we have nothing except rumors told by drunks. Yeah, it's probably too soon to tell Wayne about this. Zell, don't tell me. That's right, getting the details of the story is our job as wild dogs. If it's true and we're able to get proof, wouldn't that be an incredible accomplishment? Zell stood up, the other three also hurried to their feet. To those who had shown the will to live as wild dogs, there was no time to waste sitting around. That music was a little over the top, not gonna lie. Hey, let's go and see what's going down at the employment agency. Originally, the employment agency was supposed to be a place for people to apply for work. However, there are hardly any jobs given to Japanese laborers who could speak only Japanese. At some point, it became common for Japanese laborers to gather in front of the agency gates and wait to be picked up for day labor jobs. By now, the space in front of the agency was packed, while the inside of the agency was practically empty. Oliver had come to the area in front of the agency. Of course, he was there to gather information. Poor-looking men were killing time complaining about the recent situation. By simply mixing in with them and keeping my ears open, I ought to be able to learn all sorts of things. Man, this fucking sucks. American women are so hot. Damn, I'd like to bang one of those. True. Ah, a true man. A fucking taste. Good fucking shit, buddy. I agree. Sure was a cockroach, but the bastard told me it was burnt onion. David, what's that stench? Stinky tofu stand. Get that stinky tofu stand the fuck away from me. They weren't talking about anything useful. Sorry, the American women part is very useful and very true. Looks like they're faster. It would be faster to bring up a topic myself instead of waiting for someone to talk about what I want to. Not many trucks coming. Are there fewer jobs lately or what? I muttered to no one. Down on their luck, people are quick to chime in on opinions they agree with. I agree. Had a bunch more for a while, but there's clearly been less lately. Hey, are the trucks really coming here? They aren't gathering people somewhere else, are they? Why are they doing that? Tell me now. Idiot, if we do, we'd be wandering around here for. What would we be wandering around here for? But I do know one thing. You remember that annoying mustache dude who used to gather people to do unloading at the harbor? Yeah, I remember that guy, the bastard who gets all carried away, just because we can't afford to strike back. You seen him lately? Don't even want to see the likes of him. That geezer's business going to. Serves him right if so. Yeah, you got that right. Serves the bastard right. It's not true though. I saw that damn geezer at the harbor yesterday. Yeah, I saw him too. He was still swaggering about with that screeching voice of his as usual. If there were enough jobs to choose between them, I'd never work for a bastard like that. Got that right. We're stuck licking his boots and begging for jobs. Wonder if the geezer's hiring people out somewhere else. Is there any other place to gather other than here? There were several rules regarding jobs obtained through Primavera special offers windows. One of them was that when gathering day laborers, you could only do it in front of the employment agency. There was a measure in place to make getting jobs as fair as possible for the laborers. They're currently working on making a union to distribute jobs even more fairly, but that would still take time. This was just a temporary rule until that was completed. If employers were gathering laborers away from the agency on their own personal routes, that would be breaking the rules. However, this was no more than a gentleman's agreement. I mean, fucking come on. In this kind of business, they're fucking breaking the rules. A gentleman's agreement established out of respect to Madame Rose and Primavera, the ones who brought City 23 back from the brink of destruction. It was only natural that given time, there would be fools and villains who took that agreement lightly. Yeah, because they don't fucking care. At that moment, several job trucks arrived. The men gathering around them at once, half threatening the people in the truck to give them jobs. Don't budge me, don't budge me. You hit my shoulder, bastard. It was pandemonium. When Oliver tried to slip out of the struggle, a large man suddenly grabbed him by the collar. You bastard think you could step on my foot and run away like you had nothing to do with it? You have the wrong person. Try asking someone else. You muggy me little brat, be a good boy. Take out your wallet. Silence, scum. You call this a conversation? The area in front of the agency wasn't filled purely with good people with sweat on their brows trying to get paid wages. It also had pickpockets, bag snatchers, and people like this who accuse people of things to try and get some change. The doctor's fee and compensation pay, obviously, if you understand, and hurry up and... The old Oliver would have fed the man's jaw a clenched fist at that very moment. However, the moment he clenched his fist, he remembered what Zell had told him. Listen up, we're gathering information, right? Make sure you don't stand out. You be brat, I told you to take your wallet out right now. If I really went wild on a guy like this, I'd have his face covered in blood before he could blink twice. But he held in his anger, and at the same time he tried to figure out what to do. After all, he knew no way to resolve situations like this without fighting. I ain't got no fucking money, dude. That's why I'm waiting for these trucks. Go bother someone else. Then some big old man grabbed the shoulder of the man pouncing on Oliver. Hey, you stepped on my shoe. Hey, you got guts trying to extortion in broad daylight. Hell are you? Got a problem with me, old man? Who are you with? Oh, you aren't from City 23, are you? You came from some other city, right? So what? Who cares where I came from? You got this thing called a code at the City 23 agency. You got a problem with me? Ah, damn it. Get out of here while you can, kid. Don't you bother with this outsider. We'll beat the shit out of him for you. He saved me. Anyway, I'd better get away while I can. I got what looks like information, but even more importantly, I was a little happy that I'd managed to follow Zell's instructions. Praise me, Zell. She still won't sleep with you, buddy. Sorry to keep you waiting. Here you go. Know how to use it? Wait, man. Oh, whatever. Not at all. You asked to borrow a camera without even knowing how to use one? Well, even if you had it tucked away forever, since you couldn't understand the instruction manual. Still, this is a pretty expensive toy, isn't it? I'm surprised someone as terrible with machines as you brought it. Shut up, you. Even I want to be like Kimura Hie sometimes? I don't know who that is. Mira was holding a German-made camera. One she had been slightly drunk and in an artistic mood. A regular customer had recommended it, and she ended up buying it. Of course, it was more expensive than anything you should ever buy on a whim in Japan on this period. But what would you use a camera for? Don't be stupid. Haven't you heard the good reviews these kids have gotten lately? I did hear that. Zell started a 4-person music group, didn't she? Oh, so you're going to take pictures of that? So are you finally going to get serious and use that for PR? Well, something like that. Couldn't think of it. You learned how to play music from the old man at the music shop, right? Looks like the phrase, art brings bread, is true. Good for you, seriously. In the past, when Nina had tried to make a living as a lady of the evening, she'd been in Meryl's care. Meryl had done a lot to look after her, so she could become a woman capable of supporting herself, but she couldn't fucking suck dick for the life of her. Sorry about all that. I've just got no talent for it. No need to worry. It's only natural that people be bad at some things and good at others. Well, it's more like it was because of the way I talk. Couldn't think of it. That's an unusual dialect. Where's your hometown? On the border of Toyama and Gifu prefectures. There's well, anyway, only people from my village talk this way. Nina spoke in an unusual dialect. Before the elevation of television, there used to be a strong regional flavors of language. However, even among those, her style of speech was very distinctive and stuck out a little. Nina isn't that. It wasn't that you didn't have talent. And it certainly wasn't because of your dialect. Your looks are good, your personality's good. That got a few of the girls envious, and the distinctive way you speak just happened to be the target of their teasing. Yeah, that does happen. Picking on the new girl like that. I should have kept a closer eye on you. But some mean girls apparently took advantage of the fact that they've been there longer. Well, being able to sidestep stuff like that casually is another talent needed for the ladies of the evening. Nina, if you're ever lacking talent in something, that's all that's all it was. When some of the more experienced women saw this new girl getting regular customers with nothing but her attitude, they weren't happy. Nina, who had been raised in an alley, never received an education, and she couldn't tell any tasteful jokes. And above all, there was her distinctive dialect. There was no shortage of things to tease her about. Hey, I don't want to hear a tasteful joke in the fucking brothel, okay? I want to hear tasteless jokes. I want to hear crass humor, not lady humor. However, the world of ladies of the evening isn't a greenhouse. You need a resilience to bear the frigid winds. Meryl was saying that, in this one point alone, Nina lacked talent. However, Nina hadn't liked hanging out with only women, not since the beginning. Ever since her days as an alley rat, she had liked to move in packs with her wild comrades, unconcerned about gender. I mean, to be fair, you're only hanging out with the women at the beginning of the day. Or night. What about now? Have you been able to do what you like? Though, I mean, it is like a literal sisterhood, though, so... Been able, you say? Meryl must be talking about the music stuff. However, I set my sights on the wolf. I want to become a wolf like Wayne. It's more like I'm gonna do it soon. Oh? Okay. I don't know what you're planning to do, but... whatever it is, put all your heart into it. Women only get to do whatever they want for a small part of their lives. Nina borrowed the camera, bowed, and left the floor. Until now, whenever she entered the establishment of the night, she had been tormented by a feeling of inferiority, since she herself was a dropout. But not anymore. She clearly knew what she wanted to do, and no one would stand in her way anymore. Oh, if it isn't Nina. Long time no see. Oh, it's you guys. So did you come back to the club in the end? Well, it's not like you could find any other better job to feed yourself with. Hey, listen, I hear Sally got a customer to buy her a car. Me too. The other day, an American soldier bought me this incredible ring. Nina, have you been able to eat healthy? If you drop by the club, we could at least give you some leftovers. They're obviously making fun of her. Even though it had been some time since she quit the club, they still treat her as an inferior. What fucking simps are buying literal prostitutes fucking cars? But Nina laughed easily. Like, unless they're actually dating. Like, dude, really? What are you guys going on about? Well, if it makes you happy, I guess that's great. I've got other things I'd like to do. Hope we all get stuff to do, stuff like that. We all get to do stuff like we like. And after saying that, she walked away confidently. Hey, that's how you do it. I said it. I told them. Nina's chest was still pounding. I'm not a dropout anymore. I'm a wild dog. I'm about to accomplish something big. I'll get tons of evidence about that backdoor employment agency on this camera. Oh, that's helpful. Charles, what you got here? Really, it's just Charles and Zell together at the base. The harbor area, stretching across the southern tip of the City 23, was one of the busiest areas in the city. Chinatown to the north and the harbor to the south. Those were the two lively poles of City 23. Every day, countless freighters came and went, unloading a vast amount of cargo. The large number of workers involved in this task worked, ate, and drank alcohol. The stores that sold them food and drink were always bustling. The harbor alone had enough vigor to be considered a city of its own. Hey, get out of the way. Looking for daddy or something? Don't treat me like a brat. Even I'm here looking for a job so I can eat. That's so? Sorry about that. You looking for a day labor job? Can't get one here. Rules say you can only get day labor jobs in front of the employment agency. Rumor has it that Primavera will be chasing out the guys from other cities. But just when are they going to get around to that? Even if I go there, I can't get jobs. I haven't seen any of those trucks lately. Have there been companies going out of business, so less people are getting hired? During Caleb's era, I'd understand it. But are there any companies going under now? Right now, we're filled to the brim with cargo coming from America. All harbors are overflowing with jobs. Long live cargo! Long live work! Long live the Marshall Plan! Hell yeah! So the Marshall Plan. Oh my God! Stop! Oh, thank God. U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall had proposed a large-scale plan of reconstruction aid for war-torn Europe and also for Japan, which had been devastated by natural disaster. This was known as the European-Japanese Recovery Program, commonly known as the Marshall Plan. A large amount of support was given to Japan starting in April of 1948. It was used as a massive countermeasure to China, which was in the process of using its large importing of goods and immigrants to take an initiative in Japan's reconstruction. To combat this, China began a massive plan to import goods, and all this importing opened up the curtain of a new war. Of course, this was all on a political level. Poor Japanese labor had little to do with it. Hey, you just enjoy the fucking rebuilding, okay? Japan, wedged between the two countries, was boiling with good economic times and massive amount of goods descending upon them. Not to mention all those jobs that these created. I doubt any company to go under in times like this. Sure, it's not just the food, flood of guys from other cities making it feel like there's fewer trucks. Sure, it's not. That's not it. There's clearly some trucks that aren't coming. Anyway, I'd like to get rid of the outsiders, the Chinese quickly. Yeah, Madame Rose raised wages for us. And then those bastards came swarming around here. Hey, it's the chief. Let's go, let's go. True enough, the harbor was overflowing with jobs. A large number of laborers were clamoring about and sweating. Some people were out of work because too many laborers had come from the city, but this harbor itself was in the middle of a boom and there were plenty of jobs to be had. This should be wanting as many day laborers as they could get. It was unthinkable that companies were going under. It was also unthinkable that the number of trucks was decreasing, and yet it is. Well, going by what I can see here, I can't believe there are fewer trucks. The place was packed with food shops, drink shops, and countless laborers. Besides the laborers from City 23, there were also many from other cities and many Chinese people. Of course, the people from City 23 weren't happy about the others. Yeah, naturally. But Japanese always fucking hate other people, so you know what? That's nothing new. The Chinese, who are obviously outsiders, probably got singled out for criticism a lot. However, Wayne had given the order that measures be taken to prevent fights with the Chinese. In front of shops here and there, young people from the Wild Dogs stood like bodyguards, glaring about. Charles couldn't read them, but posters bearing the same Chinese words were posted on all the shops. They said, "Please refrain from speaking Chinese as you may be drawn into a fight." At that moment, Charles's eyes clearly picked it out. As a Chinese-looking man came out of a shop, a man walking the other way snatched up his wallet. What a dirty job. It was a classic two-person move, where one intentionally bumps into the target, drawing his attention, while the other grabs his wallet from the other side. I see, so this harbor was with jostling laborers, as a pond filled with the sitting ducks for pickpockets. I've got no problem with pickpocketing itself, however, going after the pickpockets of poor laborers is the worst sort of heresy. I only go after rich fucks. Hey, isn't that guy even going to notice? It's more like he can't do anything. What's he gonna do? Start a fucking fight? Then, end up getting fucked because he started a fight? Like, what are you gonna do? Even if you did, try to confront that person, it's literally 2-on-1. Unless you know for a fact you're stronger than both of those people, there's literally nothing you can do. Shit gets fucked, but, nothing you can do. In Charles's eyes, it was a messy job that should have been spotted easily. However, possibly because he was full and relaxed after finishing a meal, the stout Chinese man didn't seem to notice. Normally, Charles would have ignored it. It's his own fault for being too careless. But the victim was Chinese. There was a chance that this could lead to problems. The man sat down on the side of the road, taking a relaxed after-meal break. I'm just taking back something that was pickpocketed. I'm sure Wayne will forgive me. Charles honed his senses and approached the pickpockets, who were standing in line in a store. This line of bustling laborers who wanted to eat as fast as possible was truly a line of sitting ducks. This moment, while the pickpockets are lining up their next prey, is a perfect chance. As he focused his concentration, the noise and scenery inside the shop vanished into darkness, one by one. All unnecessary things were swallowed in darkness, and his senses were honed to the max. A dark world with nothing except me and my target. It's been a long time since I felt this. Pickpocketing is a survival skill, and also a sinful skill, forgivable only for the poor, who must not attack other poor people. You heretics, I won't forgive you. Oh god. Fuck me. I came out late. Fuck off. Super fucking delayed. Thank you. Stop, please. Fuck. Retribution. Pickpockets must always be careful not to get pickpocketed themselves. They didn't even notice that their prize had been snatched away from them. Losers. Thanks. Dying inside. Charles tossed the wallet at the Chinese man's feet, patted him on the shoulder, and pointed at the wallet. There had been nothing but small change in it, but without doubt it was still the man's precious fortune. The man hurriedly picked it up and spoke briefly in Chinese. Even though he didn't speak the language, Charles knew he was being thanked. Thanks. I avoided the race war. Good job, Charles. Single-handedly stopped it. Zell was in Chinatown. She'd been looking for a place where she could overhear the conversation of Chinese laborers. Of course, they'd probably be more comfortable here in Chinatown. Their chat seems more lively than when they're in other places. Now this finger was blown off in late wherever. That sure was a fierce battle. I've heard the story 100 times. More importantly, is my food ready yet, you old crone? Yes, it'll be ready soon. While we're at it, would you like me to shave off that mustache with this knife and use it to spice up your meal? The GDS has been acting like cowards lately. Only explanation that they're scared of the Japanese. Some interesting topics came up now and then, but it would be suspicious if I joined in the conversation. Sel just quietly weaved her way through the bustle, satisfied with just keeping her ears open for information. I hear mahjong's illegal now in the convent. Sounds like the perfect medicine for my husband. He says be morning till night without working. Even though wages are so high right now, that's good for nothing. Even the conversations of firm Chinese housewives seeped into my ears. I wasn't translating from Chinese inside my head. I was simply able to understand the Chinese as words, the same as Japanese ones. For example, arigato and thank you are two different phrases. However, no Japanese person would hear thank you and waste time translating it inside their head. Thank you means thank you. It's another way of saying it. That was the way those Chinese words just seeped into my head. Why am I so fluent in Chinese? For a time I wondered if I was Chinese myself. However, the words I think inside my head are Japanese. Oh, wait, fuck. Do people think in other languages? Oh, fuck. Oh, that's weird. Being native English, I just, think of English words, obviously, but... Oh, God, I wouldn't even think. If I was, born French, would I think French thoughts? Ew, I'd hate that. If somebody suddenly asked me something, the words that come out are Japanese. Which means I'm probably a Japanese person, fluent in Chinese. Or you were just born Japanese, but raised in China. Who am I wonder? No point thinking about it now. If I remember, I'll probably know what to do with it. I know what to do now. At that moment, the conversation Zell had been looking for finally reached her ears. Oh, thank God. You certainly can find jobs, and it's much better than getting nothing after being jostled about at the agency all day. But the kickback sucks. And if your wages of $400, $150 is taken out in advance. Hey, that's about half of it gone, right? However, you can still get take home $250. It's infuriating, but you get a good income. And the work, they're making you help with it into something shady, right? No, nothing like that. It's exactly the same as standing in front of the agency. It's probably the same trucks that went to the agency coming here instead. It's far better than being packed in around the agency waiting for jobs you won't get. Really is a backdoor for getting jobs, a backdoor employment agency. Chinese people listened to him, gulped. Bingo, Zell's guess had been right. But can you really get jobs for certain? You can for now, but before long the number of people will grow and you might not be able to get jobs even there. In other words, now's our only chance. So what do you say, interested? The listening men looked at each other, then nodded several times. Apparently the man was asking for an introduction fee and telling them the location. What a fucking scalper! Grumbling, the men fished through their pockets and started gathering small change. After that, the rest was whispered. I could only hear it vaguely, but I caught several vital key words for pinpointing the location. That's enough for me. Now I can just use my legs as a weapon. Wait, what? Zell started walking, naturally blending in with the crowd. She pushed through several crowds in front of stores and walked 2 blocks. After that, she walked into a small, quiet, empty alleyway and hid in the shadows. For some time, she hid her breathing, staring out to see if anyone was following her. Maybe it's my imagination. Feels uncomfortable, as though someone's staring at me. Of course, I had no basis for this strange feeling. However, another part of me whispered inside my head, telling me to trust that feeling. If only the Chinese know about this backdoor employment agency, there's a very good chance that GDS is involved. That means Chinatown is practically enemy territory. I should follow my instincts. I watched for a while, but I couldn't sense any other causes for suspicion. Did I just get too tense and scared of something that didn't exist? Right now, I'm worried that the usual way I've been acting might attract the suspicion of someone else. So I walked out of the alleyway, merged with the crowd of the people, and melted out of sight. And that fucking child still stares at her. It was a small girl who had been observing Zell before. Zell's instincts had been keen enough to pick up on the girl's presence, but the instincts of the girl who noticed that she'd been noticed, must have been even more keen. 8D. Fuck. How many layers?